welcome to Home for the Holidays, our pool edition.
Yes.
We are very excited. This heap of chaos that's behind us, we're going to talk to and we're going to guide you through our entire process from beginning to end.
And this is like, so we did a Home for the Holidays when that house right there that we were
It's right
building
behind us that we've now lived in for
And
6 months.
the rush was, we were hoping to get done by the holidays of last year, and we moved in when?
The day before Thanksgiving.
Is when we closed, so
Yes.
we were here, and then we had finally got everything moved in by Christmas.
Yeah,
this
okay.
year, we the holiday that we're targeting is Labor Day.
Pool tip number 1, if your community already has an amenity center with a pool, then think about how often you will use it. You're already paying for that community pool in your HOA dues, so if you love it there and you really only need an occasional splash around or a quick dip, then you might not necessarily need or want a pool of your own.
Because a part of the reason, so when we were considering our move to Florida, this is the first move. There was a couple of options. You know, back in Virginia, amenity centers were not really much of a thing.
Right.
You may have had community playground or something, but you know, the whole pool thing wasn't as big a deal. But I remember that we had a discussion. If we chose a community to build in that had a community amenity center, we would probably not build our own pool. But if we chose a community that did not have amenities, then we would want to build our own pool. And ultimately, that's what we decided.
Pool tip number 2, if you're building new construction, then think about whether or not you want to build that pool with the builder beforehand, and definitely find out how much extra it will cost.
Our situation was they told us you had to pay 100% of it up front. We're like, excuse me?
Right.
But I have had other builders where you can actually roll that pool into the mortgage and it's kind of escrowed out.
Right.
So there's different ways that it can work.
But the issue is the pools are not going to appraise for what you paid for the pool.
No, they're not.
So the concern is with paying for it all up front is because if the house doesn't appraise for everything you bought for it plus the pool, then, I mean, if we'd have put this pool in that we're putting in, knowing what we're paying for it, which we'll share with you, but it wouldn't have appraised.
No.
Because the appraisal value of this pool is not even going to be even close to what we're paying for it.
My advice to people is if you are considering whether or not you want a pool, you need to choose or make that decision based on what you want for your lifestyle. If you are doing it to ramp up the value of your home, probably not the best thing to do. If you're doing it because it's going to affect your quality of life and the things that you get to do on a daily basis or weekly basis, because again, it's Florida, you can utilize it all the time, make your decision based on that, not necessarily what it's going to add to the value of your home.
Pool tip number 3, the pool company that you ultimately choose is very important, but just as important is your pool designer, because they're the ones that are going to take your ideas and inspiration and then create it for you so that you can see it in real life.
I'm of an age where I'm thinking, if this was a round of golf, I'm like on the 13th hole. I'm definitely not on the front 9. You know what I'm saying? I said to the pool designer, I said, I want to turn to my wife someday, and when I know it's time to go, I want her to wheel me out to the pool so I can check out there. I want it to be that beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
And that serene. I did say that.
Oh.
Because I feel that way.
Clearly I blocked that out for good reason.
But
Jeez.
so when the big one comes,
All right, stop.
so when the big one comes, I want to be wheeled out to the pool. So my guy takes that. So and I considered that. I mean, I wasn't
confirm the guy, the builder's preferred pool company's guy.
So I was not being melodramatic, and I'm still not being melodramatic. This is really important to me. And so then when we couldn't get him to return our calls or emails with the design, and so I said, here's the place that I would like to spend my last breath. Show us what you got there design-wise. And he sent us a square with a square hot tub attached. And
It looked like a Sims pool.
What he did was,
It was horrible.
He hadn't done the work.
No.
And we were finally we were to the date where we had to contract it. We had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Contract it. We said, gotta have it. So his assistant wrote back and said, yeah, he's got the design for you. He'll send it to you in the morning. Clearly what he did was went, pool this size, put it on our lot, and it was a piece of
I specifically said, I want from those triple sliders and from that lanai, I want to see a waterfall.
This is how important that waterfall is. We would come here, the house is before the house is under construction, I found a 2x4 and I put it where the waterfall would be. And literally every time we would come here, I would run to this spot and I would go, look, here's the waterfall.
They can't see it.
Well, they can see. I mean, so by the way, there's the waterfall right there.
There's the waterfall.
But I would go like
But
this.
he would do this.
I
He'd
would go,
stand out here like it's
"Here's
the waterfall. So, and by the way, like
There's the
true
family
story,
thing.
I would run to like the master bedroom window and go, "Can I see the waterfall?" I would run to the family room, "Can I see the waterfall?" And Eric be standing out here in the middle of nothing. But
So then my guy sends us the thing with the waterfall.
And we're like, "That's
So
just-
that actually did it. We
Yeah,
were like, nope,
yeah.
out.
And so I said, you know what? I want to call Pools by Bradley.
And who do we get?
Jake Pickles.
Jake Pickles.
He's the freaking best.
My name is Jake, and I work for Pools by Bradley. I'm one of the designers. Basically, I'm the person that you were in contact with up until construction.
We talked, basically gave him the same description that we had given the other pool company. I mentioned a lot about my waterfall, that I really wanted that where I wanted it located. Eric really wanted a hot tub or a spa, as they kind of refer to them out here. He really wanted that, not just for that, but therapeutically as well.
Yeah.
And I really wanted a large sun shelf because, again, we're expecting to have this family for years and years.
We're on the back nine. Grandkids are coming.
I know, but I was
We
thinking, I imagine me sitting there with my grandkids on the little sun shelf, just splashing in the water, and I wanted a bubbler there, so that I just imagined myself playing with the grandkids there, and that was really important. So we had waterfall, we had sun shelf, we had spa, and those were the three elements. And after we described those pieces of it, when
he just did it.
Not to boast, but I think I basically designed what you guys imagined a little bit better.
yes.
Jake Pickles is an artist. Now, Jake Pickles would probably tell you that he just knows how to use the stuff. Nah. It's special.
Yeah, I agree.
And because, and that's all based on the idea that we told him what we wanted, and he created it.
Right.
And now it's happening right there, and it's weird.
It's beyond what we could imagine.
Yeah.
Pool tip number 4. Your first big design choice is probably one you already have in mind, but it's whether or not you want to have a geometric shaped pool, or maybe you want something with more curves called a freeform pool.
But you guys kind of wanted something a little freeform. You wanted a lagoon type pool. You just wanted a waterfall at the back, not something too big, but something to kind of draw your eyes towards, because you do have that big backyard. You have a nice backyard to use, but you want to draw your eyes towards the focal feature. So I focused on the back planter area, some rock waterfalls, a little bit of raised area. You wanted a spa, sun shelf, those type of things.
So here's a big question. Size of the pool.
Why are you making me talk about this?
I'll talk about it. It's fine. I wanted a big ass
It's
pool.
too big. It's too big.
Something she's never said before, ladies and gentlemen.
Pool tip number 5. This one's a little bit more difficult because you may not actually have a lot of control over this, but it's to make sure that you have enough access to get to your backyard.
Your guys' house was amazing. Like, we got great access. We can joyride our way in there. But a lot of new construction is 5 foot on each side. That's when it becomes a problem, because 5 foot on each side leaves us with 10 feet. But then you've got to think about things like AC units, your sprinkler valves or your irrigation valves, things like that we have to maneuver around. So if you do have 5 foot access, I would look for a company that is offering micro digs and is willing to do that.
Pool tip number 6. To screen or not to screen. This is a really big decision.
William Shakespeare wrote in Hamlet, Pool Edition, to screen or not to screen.
Oh, yes, that is the question.
No, this is a question we're still
Debating. Yeah, we still wonder if we made the wrong decision.
We're going to screen.
We're going to screen.
But here, let me say one. I'm going to say one word, and then the decision gets made every time. Frogs.
Screen. Yeah.
So I would say it really depends on if it's a mandatory factor for you. A lot of new construction, you could easily screen in your lanai, or put a roll down screen and then be fine and have the pool outdoors. That way you save some money and you can, design it a little bit more differently other than just a rectangle.
Here's a look at what Jake designed for us.
So this is what I initially came up with for you guys. I think the spa was a little bigger. We had some radiuses different, but not many changes on the actual pool size. I think we may have flipped the actual the pool. I think we did mirror it at one point because we're like, and you guys were saying like what would it look like this way, but for the most part it was pretty similar. So what I focused on for you guys was having this water feature in the back be the focal point. So if you're looking out through your sliding glass or any windows that are in this area, this is the focal point. Windows from any room, you're going to be able to see this waterfall here. So when it's going to invite you to come outside. And then some raised areas on the decking. So this actually helps with cost because we didn't go all the way with the rocks. Then we got to cut down the cost a little bit. But this adds that another focal feature that you're kind of like, oh well, that draws my eyes towards it. You've got a little raised area that you can put some loungers on it. That's got a sheer fall on it, and then obviously on the other side you've got your other side focal feature, which is going to be the spa. You guys have some planters inside, which I think are amazing. Especially the way you guys have it is there's not much chance for you to have any runoff or any dirt that's going to go in the pool because we got barriers in between. So that's one nice thing is that you can put plants in there. Any rain that comes in here, it's gonna distribute just fine, and you won't get any in your pool.
I'm going to give you the timing of this kind of program, our Pool Edition series, which we're going to have 4 videos, we think. This is number 1 for the timing of things, so the first one is this one. We're just going to talk about the overall thing. Then we're going to talk about the construction is the next one. Then we're going to talk about design choices in another one, including the costs and all that. And then we're going to give you a tour of the pool when it's all done. Mm-hmm. But speak about that timing. What did they tell us? How long did they tell us it was going to take the pool to be built? You remember?
I don't. Was it like a year?
1 year from dig. From dig.
So yeah, that doesn't include permitting. That doesn't include doing any initial clearing. It means the actual digging up of the earth to create the hole in the ground for your pool.
So we signed the contract for the pool on February 7th, 2020. 2022. What the hell? It's been a long time. No, we signed the contract February 7th, 2022. And like they said 1 year from dig, so we were like, we didn't know when the dig was coming.
Right.
So then they stripped it, then they came to dig it. Now what you're seeing right there, the dig was a month ago.
Yes.
So theoretically, they're telling us it could be 11 months from now. We don't think so.
Right.
We think we're shooting for Labor Day, which would be about.
We are shooting for Labor Day.
From dig would be about 4 or 5 months.
Right.
But what are the things we're waiting on?
Well, just like home construction builders, you've heard us talk about it. You probably know just from the news. Building material issues are a challenge everywhere with every builder. One of the big things that pool companies are waiting on for a while, it was the PVC piping for the plumbing. I think that has kind of corrected itself, I think.
Well, we're done with that part anyway.
I know,
so.
woo! But the other thing that they're waiting on is aluminum, which is going to include your screen enclosure. So we have actually seen quite a few pools where the pool is ready, the tile is ready, but you cannot fill the pool with water until the screen is there, because that has to be the safety code requirement.
Right.
If you don't, now we already have a fenced in yard, so we're
and we have the retractable screen,
Right,
which
so
is like a fence.
Right.
That's some of the things.
So we may be able to bypass that if our screen is delayed and still be able to utilize the pool. We're waiting to get confirmation on that. But and the other thing is the tile. Hopefully we chose a tile that is not going to be on an extended back order.
But it's not here yet.
But it's not here yet, and they said when it is, they're going to deliver it, and then But I think we're good. We know we passed these inspections, so I think that might be our next step.
Hope so. These are the jokes.
This is the marriage.
She says that all the time.
Stop it. Okay. All right.